This is hopefully my final good take on something I wanted to share with you. So, my higher self and my guides were talking to me about how dreams, the shift, and the event all connects together because what many of you already know is that dreams are multi-layered, multidimensionally so, and also the state of sleeps we go through are layered. There's a beta, theta, and delta phase of sleep, and each is a deeper state of sleep, which means that the deepest, the delta sleep state, is a very deep sleep state. And so in that deep sleep state, we are all kind of in like a coma-like state. It's a very deep sleep. And so in that state, that's where and when things happen, where you often leave the body and go to another realm, another dimension, also called heaven. And my guides are helping me with explaining all this. In fact, they are explaining it. And so once you are in the sleep state, you are directly opening your eyes in heaven and waking up to your everyday life in heaven. So that's where you belong. That's who you are. That's where you are, and that's the you, the real you. So what we want to explain is that in that state, in that other state where you are, that's your reality. That's the true reality. That's what Sylvie discovered. So the true reality is that state, and it's easier to understand if you realize that the deep sleep phase in the physical is very short. It's a few minutes, 20 minutes or so. I'm not sure, something like that. So that time is short in linear time, but time in heaven is not linear. So it's driven by consciousness, not linear time, not linearity. So that's important because that means that in heaven, your time is forever. So you are in heaven forever in a sense, because you are as long as you wish to focus on being there. And so, well, that's maybe too much explanation because it's hard to understand when you are in linearity. But suffice to know that in that state, you are living your normal life. And in fact, when you are asleep on planet Earth, you are in your true reality. And when you are awake on Earth, you are in a sleep state in the heavenly realm. So that's what Sylvie understood clearly, and that was great for her. Yeah, I thought that was just pretty mind-blowing because I kind of knew this. I kind of understood this in a way, but not clearly in the sense that everything is like reverse. So that's why I brought my drawing, because it's a cool drawing, and it is something I felt when I was sleeping one day. I woke up. I'm going to put the light on. I woke up and I felt like I went through this flip where my dream state flipped and I was in an everyday reality. So that was my little drawing. And that was a good representation of how everything flips. So I remember that day was really a feeling of flipping. It's like, whoop, everything flipped in one moment, from dream state to awakened state in the traditional sense. So that was cool. And then I started to think about how this relates to the shift and the event. Because if we are there all the time, what is the shift? How do you explain the shift in relation to that? And so it was explained to me in a way that was wonderful, because I discovered something which we're not going to go in details because we want you to kind of explore this for yourself. What is the relationship between the shift, the event, and the dream state? What is the relationship? And you can explore that, but we're going to explain just a little bit. We're going to say that in that event that's coming up, there is many events. So there are the main events, which is the end point, the major one. And before that, there is little events for each and every one, meaning everyone is catching up with their energetic level, their vibration, their understanding, and their awakening. And so these little events are the events happening to each and every person, and it's different and varied and rich and interesting for each and every one. And everyone's going to get their own kind of little event. So someone who's deeply asleep, who's very confused, is going to have a type of event, and someone who's very ahead in their understanding of things will have a different kind of event. So these are all going to be events that are going to take place soon. But for the main line, the main timeline, the main group of humanity, there is going to be the one great event, which is at the end of all this. And so at that time, everything will be leveled. Everyone will be more or less at the same level. It would be a great adjustment for many of you. And for some, it will be a little adjustment. But at some point, eventually, there will be this great event, which will commensurate, is the word that comes through, commensurate, which will gather all the energy of the earth into one big ball. As you have heard from this writer you read long ago, Sylvie, one big ball of commiseration is what I hear. Is that it? No. Okay. This big ball is energetic. It's going to shoot through space and go to somewhere, but you are not going to experience it in this way. For you, it's going to be different. Me personally, or everyone. So everyone's going to experience this one thing, which will be a great event, which will be just simply this thing happening, and you will all feel elated, wonderful, great, and it'll be the most magical moment of your whole entire existence on Earth. And that's saying a lot, because we are all experiencing life in different forms on Earth, and that is the experience that will be the most relevant to all the lives you've had on Earth, the most wonderful, most experience. So prepare for something great, and do not be afraid of the religious take on these things. It's a very down sort of energy that thinks that anything great that happens is something to be afraid of. It's not something to be afraid of. God loves us. He will only do wonderful things for us. And so this great event is not a punishment. No, it's not. It's a loving, 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 loving deed that is going to be magical and fun and beautiful for each and every one of you. So do not be afraid. And no matter what the circumstances are, there is always a context to be considered. So if you feel you have done things that may get you in trouble with Papa, it will not be so. It will be just a matter of understanding in a flash of a moment that everything is connected and you have lived a disconnected life, that's all. And that will have some great consequence on the world around you, but it is not something you did knowing you were disconnected. For the majority of you, some are exceptions, and that's another thing altogether. But for the most part, it was out of confusion. So we're going to put that out there and let you figure things out. And as we said, do not worry. It's going to be all right. We are going to make it work. And the thing is, it's okay to be a little afraid, but do not let that invade you. Do not let that worry you. Do not let that be your main energy. Take that fear, take that doubt, take that wondrous wonderment, and make it into a thing that happens to you but does not define you. So the best way to do that is to raise your energy constantly, regularly, and Sylvie is giving plenty of advice on that. So you just look at her previous videos and you'll get lots of information on that. So do that and you will see that it's not so bad and that you can progress greatly in the meantime if you want to, if you choose to. And you can arrive at these events prepared. So arriving prepared is always a good thing. It's not like you have to be crazy about it. You can just prepare quietly, tranquillement, and that will be enough. We're not asking you to do something unreasonable. Just do your best. Yes. So Siri has done a lot. She's worked on things, but she's not finished. And she knows that that's the case. It's not like she's a finished, accomplished being. She has a lot to work on. I absolutely do have to work on things, plenty. I see it every day. But I see that I have progressed and worked on myself greatly, and that has helped me greatly. So I'm very grateful to my guides and my higher self who had helped me tirelessly. And without them, I don't know where I would be. Oh, we won't go there. Okay, so that's it. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. Okay, love you. Bye.